These are 3 of On Cloud's best walking shoes. Each one of them provides different characteristics, different types of cushioning, the fit can be slightly different, and therefore they feel different when you walk or when you stand in them. The first shoe that we're going to talk about is the On Cloudsurfer 7. As you can see, it might be a slightly atypical look compared to the shoe that you might normally see in the shop. It's got a really progressive rocker both on the heel and on the forefoot, so as you can see, the heel curves upward and the forefoot curves upward too, allowing the shoe to walk back and forth. This is really helpful if you're looking to propulse forward. It helps with a nice snappy walk, gives you a nice bit of bounce as you walk. So if you're someone who's a quick walker, likes to move fast, this can be an excellent shoe for you. It has some downsides which we'll touch on in a moment. First of all, let's talk about the amount of cushioning in the shoe. So the stack height, which at the rear foot is 32mm and at the forefoot it's 22mm, giving a difference of 10mm in heel drop, so that's the difference from the back to the front of the shoe. Now some people might find that the rocker surface is a little bit unusual compared to what they're used to. What we would say is where the shoe is really useful is if you're looking for a super lightweight shoe, so it comes in at 245 grams, probably one of the lightest premium shoes on the market for everyday wear, and something that you can propulse you forwards, nice and speedy, nice and light on your feet, doesn't feel like you're wearing anything on your foot, then this can be an excellent option for you. Then in terms of the fit on top, it's a true to size, so you don't need to alter up or down in terms of the length. It's got plenty of width throughout the shoe, and it's relatively roomy in the toe box, which is slightly unusual for the On Cloud brand, so it bucks the trend a little bit in terms of giving you a little bit of extra space in the toe box. Some people might not like the design that goes across the laces on the top. It has a nice padded tongue on top that's gusseted, so it's stitched in so it doesn't move from side to side, and really nice and cushioned and padded on the back of the shoe around the heel counter. This is a shoe that we definitely classify as a neutral shoe. It doesn't have a huge amount of support, has a little bit of sidewalls on either side, but it doesn't negate the fact that you have such a rocker on the shoe, and if you look at it compared to the other shoes, it's really progressive and it really helps with that walking gait. Then in complete contrast to that, you've got the On Cloudmonster 2. It is a premium maximalist shoe. It's got 35mm in the rear foot and 29mm of cushioning in the forefoot, giving you a 6mm difference from the back to the front. It comes in at the heaviest of all 3 shoes, so it's 295 grams in a men's 9 US. And the cushioning itself is made up of On Cloud's Helium cushioning. It's got dual density midsole and it's got a TPU plate that runs through the midsole. This is different than a carbon fiber plate, but it acts in a similar manner to really stiffen up the shoe, so it's really hard to bend the shoe. It's quite a firm shoe, even though it's packing in lots of cushioning. In terms of the rocker on the shoe, slightly different profile than what you get in the Surfer, so it has a mild rocker on the heel foot and a slightly moderate rocker on the forefoot, so not as much of that snap forward as what you'd experience in the Surfer, but it does give you a little bit of push through as you get to that late phase of the gait cycle. However, if you're looking for ultra comfort, if you're someone who stands all day, who walks for long periods of time and spends a lot of time on their feet, then this could be an excellent shoe for you in terms of cushioning, in terms of padding. The sidewalls up the side of the shoe really cradle the foot to give you that extra bit of comfort. It has an engineered mesh on top. It's got lots of space in the toe box, similar to what you find in the Surfer. It's got a very thin tongue, which is slightly different than what you get in the padded tongue of the Surfer. It is gusseted so it doesn't move side to side, but we did find that when you lock down the laces, it can be a little bit tight or cause a little bit of compression on the front of your foot, which some people might find uncomfortable. It has a little bit of padding on the heel counter, similar to what you'd find in the Surfer, probably not as much. And it's a little bit more unstable on the heel cup, so it can move from side to side, where it's a bit more stable in the Cloudrunner 2, which we'll talk to you about in a moment. So overall, the Cloudmonster 2 will be for a person who spends a huge amount of time on their feet. They want lots of firm cushioning, lots of padding underneath on their feet. It's a super comfortable shoe and one that we'd highly recommend. Finally, we have the Cloudrunner 2. So this is one of On Cloud's mild stability shoes. It's got quite a big stack on the rear foot, so it's 39mm and then 29mm on the forefoot, giving you a 10mm drop. It sits around 277 grams in a men's size 9 US, so it sits in between these two shoes in terms of weight. In terms of the cushioning, it's relatively firm, so it's moderate cushioning, gives you a little bit of bounce back. It has a mild forefoot rocker, but nowhere near as aggressive as what you get in the Surfer. So as you can see, it's quite a stable shoe when we try to apply a little bit of rock to it. It's a normal width shoe in terms of the On Cloud, so if you have a normal size foot then it should be fine, but if you have a slightly wider foot you might look at the wider option in the Cloudrunner 2. It's got an engineered mesh on top, it's got nice lace lockdown, plenty of padding on the tongue, it's gusseted as well so it doesn't sit from side to side, and it's got lots of cushioning around the heel counter that's relatively stiff, so it's difficult to move from side to side. So if you're looking for more of an all-rounder that's got a high stack, so 10mm compared to 6mm in the Monster 2, that's got moderate cushioning, nice and comfortable, want to take it as an all-rounder for day-to-day activities, then we choose the Cloudrunner 2. If you're looking for a shoe for quicker walks, then we'd recommend the Cloudsurfer 2, and if you're looking for all-round comfort, happy to sacrifice the weight in return for that, then we'd recommend the Cloudmonster 2. All three shoes are linked in the description below. Please leave any messages in the comments section if you got any questions. If you found the video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel.